A couple of weeks ago on the podcast, we discussed this Transformers Rise of the Beast mainline that was going to be allegedly, according to the listings here, coming up in April of 2022. And we talked about the listings, all the different items that were available in it, the main line that's aimed at a more younger demographic. And I speculated that maybe potentially these releases would not be true to the listings because these might be old information that weren't updated to the update, which is, hey, we're going to be getting the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie June 9th of 2023 next year. And it'd be kind of silly for Hasbro to put out the product based on the movie that early. You know, so much early, more than a year early. But now more information is starting to surface, and it's looking like April 1st, 2022 is going to be the release date of a lot of this product. Now, I could go over the product quickly, but a lot of it is stuff that we did cover 2 weeks ago. I think the only thing that's really new to all of this is there's a Smash Changer at $31.49, which is a Rhinox figure. Aside from that, it's pretty much more or less the same stuff. The Weaponizer 2-packs with Primal, Prime, RC, and Wheeljack. The Battlemaster Beasts, which is Cheetor, Rhinox, Crescent, which is supposedly a skunk character. Optimus Primal and Air Razor, the Power Combiners, which are 2-packs with Bumblebee, RC, Optimus Primal, Scourge, and Optimus Prime. The Battle Changers, which are Bumblebee, Rhinox, Mirage, and Bumblebee. You have some mask accessories. You have a Beast Mode Bumblebee toy. There's a whole bunch of little things here and there. But the big one here is why this potentially could be coming out this early. And I talked with different people from different walks of life in the toy industry, and one of the biggest kind of things that we've all agreed on in this discussion is that it might have something to do with the new CEO of Hasbro in Chris Cox. Now, Chris was brought in from the Wizards of the Coast division within Hasbro. He was the CEO of that division, and he was there for the past 5 years. He came from Microsoft, where he saw tons of success under the Xbox division in their action games, such as Halo and many others. And after 14 years of Microsoft, very successful there, made them millions of dollars, was brought over to Wizards of the Coast to be the CEO there, and he was given the mandate to double the money that Wizards of the Coast have made in the past. And in those 5 years, well, let's put it this way, looking at the quarterly reports and the annual reports for Wizards of the Coast just last year, Chris not only doubled their money, he made Wizards of the Coast, in his last year that he was there last year, over $1 billion on cardboard and mobile games. $1 billion. So needless to say, when Brian Goldner passed away, which was very terrible, they had to find a new CEO, and that decision was not going to be done lightly. When you pick your CEO, it's going to be a big deal. They got to pick someone that's going to steer the ship in the right direction and do things good. And the decision to pick, Chris Cox, who's only been with Wizards of the Coast, a small, separate part of Hasbro for only 5 years, and now he's the CEO of the company, clearly they have a lot of faith in his ability to increase profit margins. And that's where it kind of falls into, because when you become the new CEO of a company, the first thing that happens is the investors and the quarterly reports, and every 3 months, they're all looking at this new CEO and going, okay, what are you going to do that's going to be better than the last guy? How are you going to make me more money than the guy who came before? And that's where Chris is in kind of a conundrum, because if Brian would have still been around, there would be less pressure and expectation because it would be Brian going par for the course. But now Chris is in this kind of situation, and it's like, well, I got to increase revenue. And right now we have a whole bunch of stuff that's just got delayed until next year because, of course, the hellscape that we live in, the big V and everything like that. So it's something where he's probably going, you know what, we got to bump up some of this product and put it out now, because we got to make those quarterly reports and show earnings and profits now. Otherwise, my first couple of months are not going to look good. And they really won't, because, I mean, look, we've discussed this on the podcast many times. Just from the Transformer perspective, I mean, there's not a lot going on. We got like no real evidence 100% on when we're going to get that BotBots TV series, which could then generate revenue of BotBots product. We have no idea when 100% we're going to be getting any of those like studio series Rise of the Beast stuff. All we know now is, okay, we delayed Legacy. It was going to be January 1st. Now it's going to be April 1st. And then we had to buy some time and put some Legacy toys repackaged in Kingdom packaging. So there was a lot of weird shenanigans that were going on. So I think that he's trying to bump that all up now so at least they can make some kind of revenue based on this product that they have right now sitting, waiting for next year for a June 9th, 2023 movie release date. Obviously, it'll be a few months before, maybe a month before, just to kind of get the hype train rolling at Walmarts and Targets and Toys R Us's and everything like that. But the point being is that the interest is important, the hype is important, but also the sad truth when it comes to a lot of this, revenue and appeasing these investors and everything like that, and the stockholders and everything. They look for the short-term gains, not the long-term profits. And the sad thing is they're probably looking at those next 3 months, the next quarter, or the next half year, or the next annual before they're even thinking about the Rise of the Beast movie for the following year. And putting out the product early, at least from their perspective, will be a way to kind of create a significant boost. All of this product comes out, boom, dumps into our laps, like literally a year before the movie's supposed to come out. Collectors are going to buy it. They're going to be interested. Hey, what's going on here? The problem that I have is, and we always look to the past here with this podcast, is we look back and we go, okay, what's going on here? Like, how could we relate this to other things? And I'm looking back at another Hasbro movie/toy line that made a big mistake with that, and that was G.I. Joe Retaliation, the second G.I. Joe live action movie starring Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and everything like that. The G.I. Joe Retaliation toys, for some bizarre reason, came out, no joke, 10 months before the movie did. And it was a big mistake by Hasbro by doing that, because by the time the movie had actually hit theaters, all of the toys had either been A, put on clearance, or B, completely out of the allocation and distribution of the stores to begin with. So if anyone was interested in buying a figure of, Roadblock or whoever from the movie, Jinx, that would be not the case because it would already be gone. And it was a big mistake by them. There was obviously a whole bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes that led to delays of the movie, and then the product line being pushed up early, and that really put the nail in the coffin for a G.I. Joe movie for a while until we got Snake Eyes, and, well, we all know how that one worked out, too. So, and I've seen this before with other movies, too. When they did the Tron Legacy movie, they put the toys out like 2 to 3 months before the movie came out, that by the time the movie had come out, all those toys were already on clearance. And they did the same thing with the Speed Racer movie back in, I think it was 2008, where the toys came out 4 months before the movie did. This is going to be nuts. Like, I understand what they're trying to do from a business standpoint, but it's a short-term profit that is not going to lead to a long-term gain and is going to hurt pretty much the shelf appeal of the Rise of the Beast movie. I mean, yeah, look, between me and you, we know, us hardcore collectors, we're going to pick and choose from this main line because it's not aimed at us, and we're going to get all the studio series related, Rise of the Beast stuff, or if they do some movie masterpiece stuff. Yeah, that's the stuff we're going to probably aim for, and they're probably going to release that later during the Rise of the Beast movie in that, midsummer 2023 time frame. But at the same time, we're not the only demo and market when it comes to toys and products. And to have all this stuff that's aimed between the ages of 3 and 14, and this stuff here is going to be out now, well, out in April at least, but out now, and will not be available next year, that's kind of crazy. This stuff is going to be hitting clearance, by November, December of 2022. Before the movie is even still, we might even have a trailer at best before we have any idea of this movie. So it's pretty crazy to think that these numbers will be kept, that it will have an April 2022 release date. But if that's the case, I think that's probably what's happening, is the expectation of a new CEO to perform in short-term gains that lead to not usually the best long-term profits. And that's kind of just how it always happens. And I don't think this would have happened, though, if Brian was still around, just because, and it's not a uniquely Chris Cox thing or uniquely Brian Goldner thing. I think it's just because it's one CEO having to go to another, and the expectation to perform now because you're the new face. It's like, hey, you're the new guy, guy. Now show us that you're the new guy, because if you don't show us profits, if you don't show price increases, then it's going to be, oh, the reason why the company's not doing well is because of you. It's not because of, hey, on the plate we didn't have plans for anything for the first quarter of 2022. So that's what I think's probably going on. That's just my take. But I mean, there's a lot of deep kind of stuff going on here, and obviously I'm going to be talking about it more as the weeks progress and talking to different individuals. But it is an interesting thing that's going on, and hopefully we learn more information, because that is way, way too early for a movie line to be coming out. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think, and hopefully we at least get to see something of these toys. I mean, I want to see how these guys look. It's going to be pretty interesting, to say the least.